lovelies. This is going to be a bit of a trial run and something a bit different. I am doing my How to Kill a Kit with Style, and I am not at home but scrapbooking in the field, as it were. So you have different surroundings, different lighting, and definitely not my customary filming bling. What am I doing for my How to Kill a Kit with Style? Well, what I did hope to achieve this week especially, but most importantly this year, is to try and catch up on all the best of both world kits which I've been pulling together in dribs and drabs. So what I thought I would bring with me is the rest of 2020. And I, of course, had that feeling that, you know that feeling when you think you've forgotten something and you're like, no, I've brought everything. Well, I forgot my August kit, but that's okay, because August was the only one that I had almost finished. I only had a few layouts left to do in that one. So this is September of 2020. What I do is I save the products, and in fact I have done a share of this one, probably two actually, on my channel, but then for the second one, and it might have even been for How to Kill a Kit with Style, I don't know, I switched out a bunch of things because I changed my mind on a whole bunch of things. So I can't promise you what I have here. I know I've switched out some stuff yet again, but here's what I do have. I do still like to try and pull in something for the A side and something for the B side, so invariably I end up with something twice as big, but that's okay. I like variety. I never like my kits to look identical to hers, so while I do have most of these papers, and I could have pulled in almost every single one of them, I didn't want it to be identical. So some of them are the same, some of them are different, and some of them are similar. I will also not, because I'm filming with my phone, I'm not going to have any clue whatsoever where I am in my filming. So I've put out some bits of paper to delineate where the boundaries are, so I'm not going to be out of frame, but I can't guarantee that's going to be the case. First one I know is from that Crate Paper Kits line, Magical Forest, I do believe. Now, I didn't ever have any of the single sheets, only the paper pads. So with the first one, I've got the front and the back of this, and I'm staying with that as pretty faithfully as Chanel has done. The second one, I've got this for the front. I wasn't a huge fan of that mustardy yellow for the back, but I did want some more yellow, so I've got this Dear Lizzie one from She's Magic, or it's All Good, which I thought was a cute yellow. It's not exactly the same, but it will work. Okay, this one is from, I know it's a Pebbles paper, I can't think of the name of the line, but it's like a celebratory one with lots of bright colours and unicorns and things like that. And it's a shame because the real punchy brightness just did not translate to the paper pad. Single sheets are very different, but that's what I've got, so rolling with it. And instead of the exact same pink for the back, I chose this Amy Tan one from Cut and Paste. Yes, because that sort of gives me these, because I think originally I thought I might scrapbook some wedding photos, because October is my wedding month, wedding anniversary month, and in September I sort of try and gear up for scrapbooking wedding photos. Now, I didn't want to use that same stripe, which is from that same collection, so I picked this one, which is from that same Dear Lizzie line as the yellow paper, and then it's got some purple lemons on the back. Minty Green Grid, which is this one, and that is from Dear Lizzie's Stay Colourful do. Now with this one, Chanel definitely said she was going to use that wood grain in its entirety, so I didn't even bother pulling in a large rainbow or that large rainbow. So I've got this wood grain. It's Maggie Holmes or Crate Paper, either one. I think it's Maggie Holmes, but could be wrong. So that's from a paper pad. I may decide, depending on what's done with it, to reinforce it by sticking it on top of something else. May not. Now I didn't, at the time that I put this kit together, have this one, which is the Heidi Swap Old School. So I wanted something cut aparty, which is a very technical term, I do believe. I think this is what I chose for that. I'm not 100% sure, but the colours sort of appear in everything that I've pulled out, and I think both the words and the colours are things that I wanted to echo in the wedding album, and on the back it's just got green. Now the hearts, I really wanted to pick up this one because it's from a cat collection, a Bella Boulevard one. So I pulled this one out. Also got this heart paper. I think I pulled this one in first because they were more orderly hearts. So if they needed to be cut into rows or strips or individually, I thought that one would work better. But in terms of the colours that are on this sheet, this one would work better. And then on the back, it's got, oh, that's not too removed from Cray. It's kind of like an aqua. That's a Vicky Bouton from Honey Spice something something. And this is that Paige Evans Bloom Street. Now this is the Bro & Co. I've got a few sheets of this, so I thought I definitely will use one. One reason I thought we could use it in the wedding album, and I may have mentioned it in a previous video, is that we all call my dad Dude. So if we use this for some of the men's pictures, that's an option. But this sort of red, this deep red, it's like a burgundy red. I know, obviously, you know, 2 years down the line that Chanel did end up using this side, and that's going to work really well because red featured very prominently in our wedding. This one I think was from Kate and Ash, but I've got this Ellie Studio version. It's just got numbers inside the circles, and it does have a lovey-dovey kind of pattern on the other side. So if that were to be handy, then that can be used as well. This is one of those simple stories, kind of like cardstock but not type of thing. That's pattern paper but with a really subtle pattern. It is a single sheet, but I cheated obviously, and I pulled in this one for the aqua side on the back, and this bit of deep green cardstock. This is where we were up to. This was my answer to the cut apart of those colour play stay at home type of collections with light pink on the back, and that's going to play really nicely with quite a few of the other options. And this from Box of Crayons, I think, from the paper pad, so it's got that gold running through it and single-sided, so it's not total cheat, is it? Now the other one is Maggie Holmes Marigold, which will play nicely with the crate paper collections up here. And the back is just a usable black and white check, but for an orange pattern. This is from Chanel's first collection, and it's that same nice deep orange, and it's got that cream back, and quite a few of the papers, this one and some of the crate ones, are printed on white, not cream, so I thought that could be a help too. This is from the same collection as these guys, so I opted to use Stargazer, which there was at least one that I just showed you. And the back is this colour, which is an aqua, actually quite similar to this, but the back warranted a much deeper sort of greeny aqua colour, which is why I pulled in this one, and this is a Pebbles one. Could have pulled it in up here, I suppose. And I love this bunting. This has got a slightly more spring-like vibe to it. Actually a good thing, because September, October, November are the 3 months of spring here in Australia, and I don't mind scrapbooking autumn in the spring, but just in case I do want to include something springy, I try and include colours that will work for both. Where am I up to? These. I'm not sure who made these. I definitely don't have this paper, but there is this Maggie Holmes paper from Carousel. It's got labels on this side, and the back is a peach, albeit a much deeper peach than this, but it's the same. So I decided, well, it's the same. This paper, I just went for the original, back and front, because the ones from the paper pad just didn't have the saturation. And if I was going to scrapbook wedding photos with it, I just didn't want to have to use second best for that. So that's this one. And for some reason, I've also got this paper. I can't remember exactly why. Oh, okay. No, now I figured it out. The yellow paper that I pulled out, the polka dot, it had like a scattered pattern with all different girly kind of motifs on the back. And just in case that was warranted, I decided to pull out something kind of sort of similar, and cameras were definitely a motif through the wedding album, and that's why I picked out this one. But I mean, you can't go wrong with a ledger really either, can you? Now going back to the embellies. Sweet Story stickers don't have the sticker sheet or the die cut flower pack. Tried to get them, couldn't get them. Devastated, but I did get these, the chipboards. So that's good enough. And in order to substitute for the flowers, I've got this box of Maggie Holmes flowers. These are from all the Maggie Holmes collections that I have anyway, and from other non-Maggie Holmes collections, and some fussy cut ones and all kinds of ones. So it's mostly Maggie Holmes, but not just. So I'll use these for this kit and beyond. I figure it's not overkill, especially if it's wedding stuff. Now, these enamel hearts didn't have these exact ones. I had a few different options. These, and these. These are silver alphabet stickers, the holographic alphabet stickers from that Huddy Swap line. So I approached that in two ways. I've got these from Chamel's. They do not belong in this bag, but anyway, there's two sheets of partially used ones from, I think Chamel released these from Field Trip, but they were designed to work with multiple collections, so there they are. And then there's these are holographic, and these were from Sparkle City. Oxides, I didn't bring any of my oxides with me. I decided not to because I was only bringing the 2020 kits, and I'd have like one sort of grey blue color and then two different oranges. Instead, I brought all my just plain distress cubes because I've got like the little cube ones, not the oxides which are full size. So I'll make do with just plain distress ink. Don't have this scrapbook.com stencil, but I have this one. This is a much more recent line, but it's near enough. Now the scrapbook.com sticker book, I think I decided to approach this in a great many ways indeed. I thought that I would include this sticker book because I had already included paper from this line and others that would go with it, and it has plenty of rainbows, as does this sticker book, and the colors are fairly similar, and it's got some little holographic-y kind of stuff and some nice words, but it's got also plenty of stuff that won't work. And because I was still feeling the loss of not having the Sweet Story, I pulled in this Maggie Holmes sticker book. Plenty of different motifs, alphas, flowers, all that kind of stuff. These labels, because I think there was a sheet, yeah, the sticker book had a sheet of labels, and it had some multicolor alphabets. For the multicolor alphabets, I went with these. Enamel dots. This baggie has just a whole bunch of messed up, used up, partially used, almost finished enamel dots. So I said, right, I'm going to focus on using those. So this was in there as well. I think I just hoped that I could, because we were using silver in a few places, I chucked these Teresa Collins banners in and hoped for the best. So that is September. The first paper for October. You know how I feel about this kind of motif. Yeah, not going to happen. But Paige was kind enough to include butterflies as well. So similar kind of background color, obviously. Natural choice. It's got this pink on the back, and I probably pulled out, oh, okay. I did pull out the original ombre blue. The next one is also from that same collection, Paige's one, an orange map and some other orange. I opted with a map as well, but I went with pink because this kit had a lot of orange for me and not a whole lot of pinks, like orange, 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 very yellow, almost bordering on orange. I kept some of it, but that one went. So map, but it's not orange, it's pink. Oh, the back is a grey and it's a crepe paper one. Oh, it's a Maggie Holmes Shine, so it's an oldie. And it's all good, Dear Lizzie. Nice cheerful orange daisies with some bunting, and these colours will work with the other papers I've pulled out. And because it's not autumn in Australia, I think it must be tiny leaves, because I've pulled out this and it's got like a burgundy on the back, which clearly isn't this. Oh, well, if it's tiny flowers, I can always use that, huh? I did, however, pull out this. So this must be what I thought of for the back. And this has got tiny flowers. This one I kept as is, partially because I had it, and partially because it's one of those papers that's a challenge to use. So that's my answer to that. It's exactly the same from that Wiki Boot and Travel line. Now, a dark, this one I did have, but because I didn't want an identical kit, I swapped it out for this Simple Stories one. It's Cozy Days from last year or the year before. And these little squares are always useful, aren't they? But I do believe we needed an orange B-side, which would be this. A very much older Amy Tangerine collection, A Happy Life, and the colours will play nicely with everything else. Okay. I think initially I pulled these out because of the colours and because I had loads of this, I think I probably had about 10 sheets of this Jelly Bean paper. They're so cute, and they're really retro ones. The back's like a yellow orange, so that actually is the perfect solution to this. And so I was happy just to put that in and leave it, but I found this in my travels when I was doing some tidying up. And these cameras, in terms of style, are very similar to the Amy Tangerine ones on this paper, and this paper wasn't in the paper pad, and I'm so upset, so devastated. It's got like a peachy pink on the back, so yeah, that will work too. This is a Paige Evans floral on the front and a ledger something on the back. So this is what I've got. I don't know that I pulled in an equivalent, something else for the back. I think Chanel used this one in its entirety anyway, but I've got plenty of other papers, and this lovely royal blue polka dot, and that one is She's Magic by Dear Lizzie. Okay, this one again, this is from, it's Amy Tangerine, but I think it's the summer collection that came before this one, like Slice of Life or something like that. Didn't have that paper. Again, totes Devo because I loved it. Got this one though, kind of sort of similar maybe, Echo Park paper, really old one, and peach on the back, and it's another one of those orange jobs on the back. This in here, this must be what I thought of putting on the back. It's slightly more orange than, I don't know what I was thinking, that it was in there, so I'm just going to run with it. This one I left as is because I was rather intrigued at what Chanel was going to do with it, and I thought it was quite clever. This one, which is the same, but I didn't have the single sheet, so I pulled in this one for the royal blue B-side. It's not an Amy Tan one, so it's Sticky Bootin'. This one, I've got the A and B sides as is because they're both really, really cute. And that's that afternoon, late afternoon. Right, where was I? This one. Pulled out this, which is the front of this. Since it's from the paper pad, I needed a back to it. And I'm guessing that's what this is for. It's like a pinky reddy sort of colour, and failing all else, this has some slightly autumnal vibes to it. I think that's what my thought process was. Chanel pulled this in because she likes to do Halloween in October. I don't, and when I mentioned Simple Stories before, this is from that same Simple Stories line. It's that the autumnal tags from Cozy Days, so I can use them as tags on this side, but if I do use these patterns, at least I know I'll have that other paper that will go with them. This paper I didn't have. I had both of these though. They sort of look like, this one's a kind of ticket paper that's perforated, and so when Chanel said that this was a perforated sort of ticket paper, this is what I thought of, but then I threw this in because these have got sort of more, they're less random, I think, in terms of colour. They're blocks of they're more blocky like this, colour blocky. So there they both are. On to the Embelly sticker sheet from, I think it's late afternoon. Okay, so this is the same. I remember now what Chanel did. She chose Amy Tangerine stickers and die cuts and Vicky Beaton stickers and die cuts because she intended to use the Amy Tan with the Vicky and the Amy Tan with the Vicky, but because there wasn't necessarily going to be enough of everything in the shop, then she chose a bit of everything and people could mix and match. So there are some of them, and in fact on the back I've got one of these motifs from that collection. So I just grabbed a random handful from my Amy Tan die cut box. Okay, I've got the stickers. So that's the stickers. Do I have the die cuts? I don't actually remember if I bought the die cuts or not, but for some reason I have these Heidi Swap die cuts. That's why I was saying Heidi Swap, because I knew I had these die cuts. I think because they had similar sorts of colours, greens and silver, and they had a slightly travel-y vibe to them. I don't know, but that's what I put, so that's what we're going to use. Now these are the Amy Tan thickers. These are not. These I think are One Canoe 2. But they're a similar sort of dark green. These are the Amy Tan thickers. These, I think, belong to the Cozy Days, ironically, which I've pulled out for my tags and other things. Didn't buy those Brad enamel dots, but I did pull in these. All been used, so I figured 3 packs was fair game since they've all been dipped into. Now, these circle stickers didn't have, so I initially threw in these cork ones with a rogue camera on the back, but then when I was pulling my kits together, oh wait a minute, what's this? Oh my gosh, another Heidi Swap ephemera pack, seriously. And these, oh, I think these I thought of also being a substitute for this maybe, but then when I was packing my stuff to leave, I found these, and this is Life Right Now, so it's a much more recent collection, but I think it's more of a similarity to this product. What I was thinking when I pulled in these, and then these is their sort of chipboard, cork and wood, just because everything was all cardboard and paper. Didn't get the stamps, these exact ones, but I have the upper, lower and number version of Lawn Fawn, and I think it's a similar style, so that's what I'm running with. Okay, lastly is November. Bear with me because I wrote it upside down. So that's going to be staring at you upside down, but everything else is the right way. And you know, I mentioned about that forgetting something. Well, I just realized I've forgotten most of my Doodlebug stickers. I've only got one little lonely set. I think I might have had the little ones, but I didn't have the big ones. We didn't have those, and don't love the faces that Doodlebug puts on every single thing. So I pulled out some really old Doodlebug stickers, and I was going to use like that whole partially used several sets. So that one page that Chanel made where she put like a collage of Doodlebug stickers in a circle, I'm not going to do that. I'll just wait till I get home to do that one, unless I do like a craft themed one. This one is the same as what Chanel's chosen. Bella Besties ombre on one side and hearts on the other. Okay, I don't have this exact vellum. I had another vellum that was sort of a pinky orangey colour. Had no idea what I did with it, no idea. So there's this one. It's a pink paisley one. The metallic is kind of orange-ish. I've brought some of my scraps with me, and there's a few scraps of vellum in that. This one, the pink fresh one, is the same. This pink fresh one is the same as that one. Then this one is a Bella Besties, but not the same. It is the graph and dot version. This is the same. This is not the same. I chose this guy instead. It's, because I mentioned before how the seasons are reversed. When Chanel pulls autumn kits, it's spring here. So in case I think Chanel uses this as a background though. But this one does have a black background. So to keep with the Vicky Beaton vibe, there are these 2 different Vicky Beaton papers which have black. Choosing 2. I think I was only going to take 1 with me, but I just was running out of time and threw everything in my bag. This one, big words, what did I choose? Okay, at first I chose this one. Yeah, I think I might have chosen this thinking instead of big words I'll just use big flowers. I think that's going to go nicely with the kit anyway. But I pulled this in. This is a Pink Fresh one from that Super Cool. I think it's supposed to be a schoolish kind of line. And then with that purple that I pulled in earlier and that aqua and the blacks, we're starting to sort of see some of Max's school colours come together. Oh, here's a grid. So I thought maybe I could do some school pictures of Max's. This is the same. This is not the same, but it is a star print and it's just light blue on the back. But this one, I do believe that has got an itty bitty tiny text. And so I just pulled this Pebbles paper out. They're kind of travel-y sort of words, but if I end up using this side for any of that, I'm not going to know what it says anyway. It'll just be like black and white text. Lawn Fawn. This was, I think, a reboot of that Into the Woods collection. And I had the original one. So mine, if you go with the diagonal, so I had both of these, but they're backed with different papers. So I opted to stick with the diagonal orange. But then on the back, it had these little woodland critters, and these had small speech bubbles. So I'm not really sure whether I felt that was sufficient or not. I guess it must have been, because the next thing is this paper, which has got, I think is it slices of pie or something, and then stripes, because I pulled this for the stripes. Obviously that's not stripes. Remember what? Yeah, this is slices of pie. I think I never chose a novelty paper, unless this is what this one's for. Oh gosh, surely not. Now this must be a floral, which is what this is for. And so that was the stripe that went with that. That was the floral that went with that. Would have required an orange back, which would have been this. And then the actual B sides of those is this. Now, this was leaves with cut apart squares. So I've got bigger leaves and smaller leaves. This one's got a yay bonus with green, and this one's got extra orange. As far as the cut aparts went, there's these guys with a couple of squares missing and some very nice usable light blue polka dots. Of course, there's these. Put in these, and I figured, well, the sun, because I mentioned before that it's spring. Now going back to the start, orange stickers, alphas. Chanel pulled out 2, just depended on what people got. This was in my stash as it was, just sitting there, nothing on the back. So I just said, right, fine, you're coming with me. 2 orange alphas, and I only needed 1. This collection of Vicky Bouton, I've got this one, this set, which is partially used. But then I also pulled in this one, which is not used at all, just to give some more variety. And I think this has got some of, it's got purple. I think that's why I liked it. And that will be a nod to the purples there. But also it's got this kind of really deep magenta colour, which I think is quite a close match. Or at the very least, it would work really nicely with that. Didn't pull in any extra enamel dots because I think I've got plenty from my Timbers kit. The books. Paige Evans' little 2x2 books are a bit picked apart, pulled apart, and these aren't even all of them, but they're all a bit decimated. So I grabbed what I had, chucked it in a little baggie, and that's what came with me. And what else is left? Stencil. Now I think from memory, Chanel used like a leafy pattern, and this one, All in Create. It's got leaves, but it's also got some flowery kind of motifs, and did bring a couple of other stencils with me just in case, so I may substitute as needed. So that is it. Thank you for watching my marathon How to Kill a Kit with Style, and be sure to go and work through all the other girls who are playing along, and apologies for the different conditions, but I suppose a change is as good as a holiday, isn't that what they say? Anyway, hope to see you again soon. Bye.